who has been following this war very closely. He's a former Deputy Assistant Secretary of State. Joel, these attacks just seem to be getting more intense and advanced. Is Ukraine prepared with the way this war is now unfolding?
Yeah, Marcelo, it's great to be with you. And you're right. These attacks are very significant and advanced. It was intense last night, the missiles being shot into Kyiv in the dark of night. And this is likely because there's going to be a spring offensive, or it may bleed, frankly, into the summer, but a real strong offensive by Ukraine as they make a push against Russia. And there have been heavy battles in Bakhmut in particular, with major losses by Russia. Russia is trying to show that it still has some strength, and these missile attacks into defenseless civilian populations. Unfortunately, there was missile defense batteries, Patriot batteries that we supplied that shot these missiles down, but really shooting directly into civilian areas. It's deeply unconscionable, and clearly Russia feels like it has to increase the pressure prior to this new offensive.
Yeah, and adding to those major losses, Joel, we mentioned an American was killed here in Ukraine. What can the U.S. do better to better protect Americans over there?
Yeah, look, first, of course, echoing what the State Department said, sympathy to the family. Clearly, he was out there in an heroic manner, trying to support the Ukrainian military. But this is not something that the United States is structurally doing as a government to provide Americans on the ground as allies, as support of the Ukrainian military. And so I think the challenge here is that individual Americans with military training, they may want to go over and fight, but they're not going to have the kind of infrastructure from the U.S. government to support them. That's really going to be on the Ukrainians, and that makes it very dangerous. Fortunately, we've not seen many fatalities from Americans, but it's not advisable for a reason, and unfortunately, we're seeing why.
Yeah. Now, of course, we're always looking to our leaders for more answers when it comes to so much unknown in this war. We have U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken sharing the State Department would not rule out designating Russia a state sponsor of terrorism. So what does this mean, and how would this impact the way the war is unfolding?
Well, terrorism designations of a state, of a government, those are basically designations of this government is killing civilians and attacking civilians at will. And these are the deepest kinds of designations that the United States has as far as empowering us to sanction and penalize those governments. Some states like Iran and North Korea in particular, those are the longtime designees, Syria as well, really the gross human rights violators. And it would be a major move by the United States to designate Russia, but Russia's behavior in this war is terrorism. And they are killing civilians, innocent civilians, aggressively attacking them, and really not stopping despite all the appeals, including now from China and others who are trying to find ways to wind this war down. Vladimir Putin seems intent on ramping it up, and that is an act against civilians, and that is terrorists.
Yeah, and of course, a lot of people are uniting for this same message. In addition to the U.S., other countries, Germany and Britain are now stepping up to help Ukraine. Is this, do you think, enough to help with the aggressive response that we're seeing with Russia?
The challenge here in this war, Marcel, is that as soon as the supplies get out to the field, they get spent, they get used, and so this continual flow of weapons is what's needed. So the new supplies coming from Germany and Britain, they're not there today. They won't be there tomorrow. They're going to be there over months. And same with the American commitments that we've provided. Our tanks are just beginning to get ready to be rolled out. So there's going to need to be a continual flow. And these provisions by Germany and by Britain, they do add to that flow. It's very important right now as Ukraine looks to make a major offensive that it has supply coming in that it can depend on, because it's going to be a very costly battle. And it really is. This is a major war, and it's depleting the reserves and the resources of many countries that we have alliances with across Europe, as well as from here in the United States. And so hopefully the flow will continue, but we have major battles up ahead.
A breakdown of what's taking place overseas. Joel Rubin, as always, thank you so much for your time and expertise. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Marcel.
Yeah. We'll be right back after a quick break. Stay with us.